Azraddin wins the toss for the first time.
Yeah.
And you're going to field?
Yeah, we're going to field because it looks a very good wicket. So, I mean, if we can restrict them to a total, where we can chase in the end.
You prefer to chase?
Yeah, we prefer to chase because we've got our batting very strong.
Okay, now what changes from the test team?
We're not playing Chauhan and Venkatpati Raju. We're playing Shalil Ankola and Jadeja.
Okay, you cold?
Yeah, a bit cold, but I'm sure it would improve. It's much better than Dunedin.
Cheers. Okay. Thank you. Ken Rutherford, that just said it's much better than Dunedin. That's awful, isn't it?
I'll have to have a word to him later on. That's a terrible thing to say. Actually, it is rather Antarctic weather, isn't it? A bit chilly.
It is chilly. Now you're batting first. Happy with that?
Yeah, happy enough. Yeah, it looks a very good track. I don't think it'll change its complexion throughout the course of the day. So I think the 100 overs played today will give both sides batting a good chance to score a lot of runs.
What's a good score, do you think?
200, over 200 for the first time this year, this international summer perhaps, and that's good for the batters. It's good for the crowd too to come along and see a total, hopefully in excess of 200 runs.
The noticeable exclusion, that of Mark Greatbatch, out because of knee surgery. So into the playing 11 comes Chris Harris. Spinner Matthew Hart will be carrying the drinks as 12th man. India left out its 2 test spinners, Raju and Chauhan, and included Jadeja and Ankola. Mongia, the test opener, has been pushed down the order in a side that's very strong in the batting department. So India win the toss and put New Zealand into bat.
So we're set to go now. The first ball of the day, and it's Kapil Dev to Blair Hartland. Looks like a lovely pitch, Dev. Hit very fine by Hartland, so the first runs of the game. And 2 runs taken by Blair Hartland. And so the New Zealand innings is underway. Well, New Zealand have never won, or never lost, I beg your pardon, a one-day international here at McLean Park. So that's an excellent record that they would like to preserve. That's beautifully played and well stopped.
Just cut behind point there. And that's well fielded, and fielding being the key in one-day cricket. That sets the example, if you like.
Well played by Young, and that'll be the first boundary of the day. A typical Brian Young shot, and he cracks it square of the wicket on the offside for 4.
We know how well Brian Young can play off the back foot, and again he demonstrates this wonderful shot.
Appeal for a caught behind. Not given. Well, it must have heard a noise. Dave Quested there showing that it hit the pad. Well, it didn't appear to hit the pad either.
I think it was a long way from the pad, Grant.
Now on the wicket, all in the air. He's got runs here, straight. Don't think it'll go all the way. Although it's going, oh goodness me, that outfield is quicker than I gave it credit for. It's the end of the over, 17 for no wicket. So 17 for no wicket, and that outfield looks pretty fast, Ian.
Yes, it does. There was a little bit of rain around yesterday, and we wondered whether the speed of the outfield might be a factor in the game, but we see here that it's not going to be, because Young lifted that. I didn't think he timed it all that well, but the ball made us a liar.
Ball, Shunath. And he's nicked this one, no question about it. Goes through to the keeper, Mongia. Comfortable catch, and the first New Zealand wicket has fallen.
Well, a poor shot from Blair Hartland. Really, he ran the risk earlier in the innings of playing the cut shot with the ball too close to him, and you can see just far too cramped. The ball, if anything, angled into him, and that makes the shot even more difficult. Just a little top edge, and the simplest of catches to Mongia. New Zealand now 17 for 1.
Angling down leg side, he's underway. Ken Rutherford with a single out the square leg. So Ken Rutherford, the skipper, coming in at number 3. And he's cut. And he's cut well. Third man diving, but he won't cut it off. Oh, that fair raced away. End of the over, 23 for 1. Again cutting. And he's going to get 1 this time. Oh, he's going to get more. There's overthrows. Poor fielding by India. Only get 1 more. But a bit sloppy.
Well, this is the kind of cricket that makes the bowler sick. That's the new man in the side, Jadeja, fielding at point. The bowler just gives away one, and all of a sudden, through some sloppy throwing, some poor wicket keeping, and some awful backing up, he gets another one.
Oh, has he nicked it? I think he has. Yes, the finger goes up. So New Zealand in further trouble. Brian Young getting a touch through the keeper. Gone.
Well, we put the mockers on him somewhat, Brian Young there. This is another good delivery from Srinath. My goodness, he's bowled well this morning. That's a perfect length. Young just a little bit free at it, the outside edge, and Mongia another simple catch. So Young has gone for 11, New Zealand now 26 for 2. And this brings Stephen Fleming to the crease. He played well on this pitch in the Shell Cup final, but this is another step up the ladder.
Certainly is. That's a good shot to get underway. A lovely shot, square of the wicket on the onside for 4. My word, he timed that well.
Well, in the test match, he was very strong through the onside. The Indians probably had a plan against him to stay off his legs, but they didn't stick to it here. And there's no one out there protecting the square leg boundary at this stage of the innings, and Fleming off the mark in style.
That might be called a wide, it is.
Yes, we're just in the 11th over here. So we watch that. Yes, it is too wide down leg side and not carrying through either.
Well, Rutherford playing a big shot through the covers for 4.
Yes, he's climbed into this one. Just in the slot for Rutherford. No offside sweeper able to be there for India yet. They're still within the first 15 overs, and he just smacks this in front of point.
Oh, Fleming plays a superb straight drive. Look at that.
Yes, pretty effortless, didn't move either. And a nice juicy half volley, but he's such a good clean striker of the ball that it just whistled down to the fence for 4.
Just not happy with his approach there. It's a very hard pitch, so probably he just might have lost his footing as he came to it. You can see there. Oh, a lot of swing there. I don't think Fleming expected it to come back as far as that, but the in-swing to the left-hander.
Yes, it did come back. It was going to have to come back a lot further, though, to be a serious LBW shot.
And he gets some width there, and he gets it through to backward point. And it goes all the way. Now, that's another indication of good timing. I don't think he got it quite right, but he had enough on it to carry it to the boundary. Well, Rutherford wants to do something about it. He's hitting it in the air, but there is a player down there. So Rutherford just getting a little bit anxious about Kapildev's accuracy. Good running.
Well, he walks across outside off stump. Look at the line of this ball. It would have hit about off stump if he'd missed it. Now, it's one thing to move and improvise. It's another to move too far, and really Rutherford took a real chance on that occasion. If the ball had been bowled down middle and leg, he could easily have missed it and would have been bowled. Got his body weight coming forward, but a long way to the offside. And so Rutherford, it looks like now, with the way he's looking around there nervously, that he's decided to really go after it. This is the last.
But he's gone again, and he's hit that one very much better, and that's going to beat the fine leg fielder, I think. Yes, it does. A pretty poor effort from the fielder.
Oh, that's a dreadful effort. I mean, it's as though he didn't have a left hand.
Rutherford goes over the top. This should be another boundary, although it's rather a wedge shot. He's pitched it, and it's pulled up a little, and they settle on 2. So perhaps Rutherford just got onto that one a little.
And your impressions of the pitch overall in this first session?
I think it's played well. There's been obviously a little bit of sideways movement, and you expect that with the new ball. Of course, the white ball tends to be harder than the red one. Don't know why, but it is. And you always get a little bit of sideways movement, a little bit of early movement in the air as well. But generally, I think the pitch has played well. It's come onto the bat nicely, and we have seen some wonderful shots that have gone to the boundary for 4, which means the ball is coming onto the bat. Now, it might slow down in pace as the game goes on, and that's why if New Zealand get 200, 220, could be an interesting task for India to chase.
There's a big appeal for the call behind. Ken Rutherford is on his way. Mongia has his third catch. Just what New Zealand didn't need at this stage. First over after drinks. New Zealand captain caught behind.
Well, we talk about this cut shot, and whilst it's been a strength, it's also brought about his downfall on numerous occasions. In fact, there's a lazy shot, just trying to work it down through the vacant slip area. Got the edge, easy catch for Mongia.
All right, Richard, thanks for those comments. It's 60 for 3.
The new batsman replacing Ken Rutherford is Shane Thompson. He's gone to the non-strikers end. We're starting a new over with Kapil Dev, his last. Another single for Stephen Fleming.
3 wickets down, a little disappointing perhaps on a wicket that looks rather good, Ian Smith.
Fair to say, John Morrison, that none of the batsmen have really been dismissed. They've helped themselves out to a certain extent.
Yes, that cut shot has come into play this morning, rather unsuccessfully, in the case of Hartland and Rutherford. And Kohler. One slip for him. Oh, that's a good ball. And, oh, it's gone all the way down to the boundary for 4. I'm not quite sure what happened there. That was a beauty.
Well, it's too good for Shane Thompson. It's quite full. Looking to drive initially, hitting a little bit across at the outside edge. And look at that, the bowler, absolute agony for him. He's done his bit, and it's found the gap. We've talked about having a little gap between the keeper and the first slip. Well, once again, we've seen it's not a good theory.
There we are, that's Jadeja's bowling efforts. Oh, he's nicked that one, he's nicked it fine. It's running away down to the boundary, and it's going to go all the way for 4.
Well, evidence that we have got a fast outfield here, and with the sun and the wind on it, it's only going to get quicker as the day progresses, because Jadeja is not a quick bowler, but Fleming's gone after this. He's got a reasonably good piece of it, good enough to get past the keeper, and once it was past him, it wasn't even a contest. The man at third man fairly square, and he didn't have a chance.
Once again, Fleming is very keen to get underway. And it was just as well that the advice from Thompson came so confidently and quickly.
Good shot played by Shane Thompson. It's away from the field, and that's 4 runs.
We know how well Shane Thompson can time the ball, and here's a classic example on middle stump, and he whips that through mid-wicket. Beautifully timed and beautifully placed.
So the 100 coming up with that shot from Shane Thompson. And he picks up another single. Looking for 2. Fleming wants it, and he's off. Well run. It's a real urgency coming into the New Zealand batting now. They want to go. Thompson has to hurry. And Jadeja tried to kick it onto the stumps, but Thompson was just a little too quick. Missed anyway. So a good solid partnership now. 50 partnership between these two players has come up in 49 minutes. And it came at a time when New Zealand really needed it too, with the loss of Ken Rutherford. Thompson lifting it away. Beautifully timed shot, 4 runs.
Well, he's hit Jadeja through the onside before, and again, this time well timed. Beautiful shot, good placement, beating that fielder at mid-on.
good-looking drive. Well, this is a little straighter. It'll put the man out there to some test. In fact, he won't make it. So, good shot. Cambley couldn't cut it off out there on the boundary.
Cambley's pretty quick across the surface here, but he's not quick enough to cut off this shot from Thompson. If I was to tell you that this is Stephen Fleming's first one-day international, you'd laugh at me, wouldn't you?
I'd never laugh at you, Ian. But it's a remarkable performance, really. He came in, and really New Zealand were in a bit of bother at that point. They lost 1 or 2 early wickets, and he's batted very, very well. And here's another run. It's a good-looking shot, actually. It's a bit of a chase out there for Cambley. He picks it up, but are they coming back for 3? Yes, I think they are. Good running. There's some debate about the end of the over. Yes, they've decided it is 144 for 3. Yes, we should have a good contest on our hands here today. Kumble pushing forward. Here's the 50 for Shane Thompson. Well played, Shane Thompson, just pushing it out on the offside and scurrying through. Jeff Howarth applauds, as does the reasonably big crowd here.
Well, it's been an excellent knock so far from Shane Thompson, and he acknowledges the applause, but he also knows the job is only half done.
There's still plenty of work to do. Driving. There it is. Straight down the ground. There's a long off there, Sidhu, but it doesn't stop Stephen Fleming from bringing up his 50. A fine knock.
Well, only 26 on the board when Stephen Fleming in his first one-day international came to the wicket. And now there's 146 there. He has 50, and he has done a great job.
Best scenarios for these two, Fleming and Thompson, to stay in. There's a temptation for them to start charging, but I think they should stay in for another 10 overs, collect, and then charge. Another good shot here. Will that run away for 4? It has. It's very fine. I thought the man down there had a chance, but in the end he had no chance. End of the over, 151 for 3.
There's plenty of runs in this wicket. We saw that in the 3-day match against Pakistan here a couple of weeks ago.
Well, it was Fleming and Thompson that got the runs for that New Zealand side against Pakistan, wasn't it, in the second innings?
Fleming made a very good 100 here.
There's Thompson going over the top, over extra cover, and he gets it in exactly the right place for 4. Piece of work from the keeper. He wants the third umpire, does the umpire. He's called for the television replay, but what a marvellous piece of work by Nyan Mongia.
Just a very smart and brilliant piece of work there by Mongia. Picking the ball on the leg side and taking the bails off. It must be just close. It stays there.
A good decision, because Fleming was very quick indeed. He was certainly overbalancing out of his crease, but somehow he managed to regain his balance and get the other foot down very quickly. And so Thompson's going to go high and near. There's a player can get around and get that if he's good enough. And the crowd's too close. And Kohler sees the humour of the situation. He had the catch lined up, but the boundary just rushed at him a little bit too quickly.
Just hit in the air, on the up. The ball ballooning in the air as Ankola goes for the catch. It's very difficult for a fielder there, just going over the fence. Lucky that he didn't get an injury there.
Well, it certainly is. It's wonderful that he's seeing the humour of the situation, but it was a fairly committed effort to make the catch, wasn't it? Oh, Thompson's gone in the air again, and he's found the gap perfectly. That's a great shot from Shane Thompson.
Yes, very strong on the onside, Shane Thompson. We saw earlier Shane Thompson driving 2/4 of his toes on the onside, and this one again lifted in the air, in the gap.
He's going this time over square leg, and that's going to be 6 runs. Well, Keppel Dev is indicating 4. So is Steve Dunn. I thought that went over the boundary. We'll see it again. I was looking at it with the naked eye. Let's have a look at it with the camera.
It's made into a full toss.
Ooh, hard to tell from there. Field for RBW, David Quested says no. Well, Kumbli's last over cost him 3 runs only. And certainly from Shane Thompson's indications, he wants to get more this time. You can see that was too high.
It's going down the leg side as well, Peter.
Fleming swings it away through square leg, 4 runs.
Well, he's really smashed this one. And at last, we're starting to see some batting of class in the limited overs competition this summer.
He's over the top this time. That's a lovely shot. 4 more.
Now that's classy. And I was looking for some gaps in the field, and that's another area. Mid-off's back, but mid-on and deep mid-wicket is not.
He's gone again. This will fall just short of the fieldsman, and the batsman will take 2. So 10 runs off 3 deliveries. And up comes the New Zealand 200 in the 45th.
Yes, well, he almost holed out there. He tried to get it square over mid-wicket because mid-on is back there. But we see this man, he's a left-hander, remember. This man here has come up inside the circle to allow the long on to go back.
Thompson lofting. He could be caught, and he is well picked up by Jadeja. And that is the end of Shane Thompson. A magnificent partnership between these 2 players. And New Zealand lose their 4th at 204.
Well, Thompson saw the gap over extra cover. Look how he tries to hit it inside out. Not quite inside out enough, and so mid-off was able to get round to his left and take a good running catch. So that's the end of Thompson. He gets his 83 from just 95 deliveries, and New Zealand now go to 204 for 4.
Hammers it down to mid-off, so Harris is underway. And more importantly, from New Zealand's point of view, that means Fleming is on strike.
Stephen Fleming looking as though he's been out there for a while. Not quite as quick between the wickets. He's just gaining his breath.
It's warmed up a bit as the days progressed. It was very cold earlier on, but Stephen Fleming will be pretty warm. Down the wicket he goes. He hits it in the air. I think he's going to get 4. He is. The man's too square. And 4 more to Stephen Fleming to end the 49th over. 225 for 4. And this isn't a bad shot. It's going to be 4. It's beaten Tendulkar down there. And that really is clubbed by Chris Harris.
Well, it's all or nothing in the last over. Chris Harris getting one on about the middle and leg stump, and collecting plenty of bat on that. And wide of that man down there at long on.
Full toss, driven. They're looking for 2. I think they're going to come anyway. They are. And I think he may have gone. Yes, he's going to be given. He's not asking for the 3rd umpire. So Stephen Fleming has run out. But what a marvellous hand from him. It really has been his debut one-dayer. 90 runs to Stephen Fleming, and the big crowd here at McLean Park are giving him a well-deserved hand-off. So Stephen Fleming under the stand here. Marvellous innings of 90 runs. Oh, that's a funny one. Is that going to be a no ball? Yes. It was too high. It was above waist level as a full toss. So that's a no ball.
Well, I wonder if he actually knows the rule. I think he thought he bowled a good delivery.
The last ball again, perhaps. Oh, he swung it away. Where's it gone? It's a big hit. It's 6 runs. Yes, it is. Well, what a great way to finish the innings. Chris Harris swinging it over the boundary here at McLean Park, and the crowd love it. And why not? 240 for 5 New Zealand after the 40 overs, and the innings finishing on a very high note indeed.
The New Zealand innings a joy to watch, in particular that 144-run partnership between Stephen Fleming and Shane Thompson. Fleming's 90, the highest score by a New Zealander on debut in a one-day international. He was run out in the last over. It was another faltering start by our openers, both gone by the time the score had reached 26. Ken Rutherford put in his penny's worth, while Chris Harris hit the last ball off the innings for 6. New Zealand 240 for 5 off their allotted 50 overs. Well, the Indian bowlers wouldn't be too elated about that score. India bowled Kapil Dev right through, something they don't ordinarily do. Srinath looked good early on, but then got whacked about a bit. His figures 2 for 59. Jadeja, Kumble and Tendulkar didn't do much against the young master blasters of Fleming and Thompson. 241 the target for India to win.
First ball of the innings with Chris Pringle bowling to Jadeja. And it's a big task, Ian Smith, for India. They need a run rate of around about 4.83 to win this. Just wide of the keeper. And Danny Morrison gives it away. That's 4 runs. Pringle strays down the leg side. And a very fine glance.
Yes, a fine piece of fielding by cameraman George Smith down on the boundary, but it wasn't good enough to cut off the boundary. Chris Pringle just drifting down leg side. And when you've got basically an offside field, that's a sin. And what a pickup that was.
That's beautifully played by Sidhu into the gap. And Gavin Larson has quite a chase. And 2 runs for Sidhu. Larson will have an important job to do very shortly with the ball. He's the bowler that New Zealand look to restrict.
Well, Pringle traditionally is an outswing bowler. In other words, he gets the ball to angle away towards the slip cordon. But at the moment, he's just struggling to get any movement at all. And he's bowling for it. It's not there, and he's ending up drifting down the leg side.
Good shot from Sidhu. The outfield is quick, and it's gone to the fence. Just pushed it, really, and that's a boundary.
You won't see better examples of timing, Grant, than this shot here from Sidhu. Absolutely no real effort in that shot at all. Hardly a backlift, hardly a follow through.
Solid shot off the back foot. That's going to run away for 4. That's timed wonderfully well. He almost just jammed down on it, but it was superbly timed.
Well, it was, and it shows that the ball's coming onto the bat very nicely, because he jams down on this. It was more of a defensive push, but with the pace of the ball from the pitch and the fact that it went fairly square on the offside, it just slid off the face of the bat very quickly indeed, 3 for 4.
Oh, attempting to hook. Oh, terrible mess up there at mid-on. And dare I may, Dion Nash, I think it is, who went the wrong way in anticipation. Then the ball actually came a lot straighter than he thought, and he slipped over trying to regain his posture.
Well, I imagine he's got spikes on. He must have if he's going to bowl. But if he hasn't got spikes on, then the question would be asked. But yes, this was an attempted pull shot, and it would have been the simplest of catches.
Driving, good shot. That should go away for 4.
Well, in an attempt perhaps to get that little bit of late swing, Morrison's over-tossed here. And Sidhu takes advantage, mid-off just a little wide to prevent that one going through.
Trying to work it on the leg side. This is quite a quick single, and I think he may be through. Yes, there's no request for the third umpire. That's the end of the over, 41 without loss.
New Zealand were going at about 3 for the first 15 overs or thereabouts of their innings. And as you can see, India have been a bit quicker than that. They've been on 4. Oh, it's over the top, down the ground, 4 runs. Thank you very much, says Sidhu.
That's now 10 off the over from Larson. And Sidhu just hitting through the line of this delivery from Gavin Larson. As we see, short of a length, pretty good delivery in normal circumstances, but Sidhu straight down the ground.
And that's well fielded, so that the over ends easily for Nash, and it's 54 for no wicket. 14 overs gone. It was over the top again, and it's safe too. It clears the inner field inside the ring, and Fleming and Harris get to it. 2 runs to Sidhu, 5 off the over. It's 59 for no wicket.
See there that India had one particularly big over there. Edge and caught. Sidhu is out. That's the big breakthrough for New Zealand.
Well, Gavin Larson's done it again, and a bit of help from Adam Perori and a bit of help from Navjot Sidhu as well, because similar to Blair Hartland, that ball angling in, too close to cut. Just getting a little bit cramped for room, and only the edge through to Perori. Sidhu's gone for 34, India 65 for 1. And New Zealand really have still got a lot to do.
Oh, played and missed, Cambley.
Well, Cambley, he wasn't in great form in the test match, and once again he's come out here with minimum foot movement, and with the ball angling across towards the keeper and the slip, dangerous not to move the feet towards that line of the ball.
Oh, it's off the edge, in the air, and he's got to start with a couple of runs. Not a very convincing shot, but it's gained him 2. And that is the end of the over. Drinks coming onto the field at McLean Park, and India are 70 for 1. Oh, he tried to run it down very much the way Sidhu did, and he was out.
Yes, he tried to run this down off the front foot, which is a very difficult shot. The ball just bouncing over the top. Often regarded as a traditional one-day stroke, but a very risky one for just the 1 run, because of course there is always a man down there at third man protecting the boundary.
Slight misfield there by Chris Harris. Had an easy single taken. Slightly slower ball, and they're going to take on the arm of Hartland, and oh goodness me, I think that would have been curtains. He just missed, and Cambley survives.
It's a reasonably full house now, good crowd. This really has built up. He swung it away, he's got over the infield. This should go away for 4, and yes it does.
Well, this didn't look a very good shot. It was a very effective, but the ball, he hit across it from outside off stump and decided to fetch it over mid-wicket and wideish mid-on. It was effective, although a little risky, but nevertheless, Jadeja nips through now onto 37 from 60 balls.
Cambley catches up with this one, times it remarkably well. There's 2 men down there, but it bisects them and races through for 4.
Yes, well, most people are content to just ease the ball down there off their toes, but he clips it away rather than allowing it to just come onto the bat and using the pace of the ball. He added some pace to it, which meant that neither boundary fielder could get round to save it.
Jadeja gets his 50. First 50 in one-day internationals for AJ Jadeja. Oh, that's gone for 4. It beat the field. Hartland couldn't get to it. Once it got past Harris, it was 4 for Jadeja, and it's 122 for 1.
Again, Rutherford knows that New Zealand need a wicket. The required run rate now is just over 6, which ordinarily is quite tough. But with 9 wickets in hand, India is still well placed. He goes over the top with a big hit. Chance for New Zealand, and yes. A very vital wicket taken by Chris Harris, and away goes Jadeja.
Yes, Jadeja was getting rather impatient and slightly over-pitched delivery and driven uppishly, not really timing it well, and well underneath that catch, which is balloon in the air.
So Chris Pringle takes the catch, and Jadeja has gone for 55. It's 123 for 2. Slips away down the leg side, well taken by Adam Perori.
Yes, that delivery on the leg side, so trying to flick that one on the left side, not really getting to the pitch of that delivery. The ball slightly moving away from him.
This has gone very slowly. Danny Morrison having to go now. They're going to take Morrison on, and Azharuddin's a good runner. 2 leg byes, and the end of the over, 133 for 2. The run rate required is creeping up towards 6.5. But certainly Kumar in India's favour is the fact they've only lost 2 wickets.
Just they have still 8 wickets in hand. They've got plenty of batting to come yet. There's Tendulkar and Manjrekha Kapil they have to follow. So there's plenty of batting to come. There's no worry as such.
He reaches this one on the full. Again, Larson lines it up. Azharuddin's going to try him, and it's good running. Very quick platoon wickets for a big man, Mohammad Azharuddin. He takes 2. It's 139 for 2. Azharuddin a little bit of width this time, but he picks out a fieldsman. In Rutherford, good fielding.
Oh, he could be gone here. He's asked for the 3rd umpire, but that was a smart piece of work that turned.
It's a good bit of bowling from Thompson and a good bit of work from Perori. Now Kambli's hanging around. He thinks he's got back, and the replay will tell it all. He's played and missed there. The bail's come off. Well, it's interesting. I think we may have to have another look at that again. He doesn't need to. He's given him. Pretty close, but Kamble has gone. He's got the red light, and New Zealand have a valuable wicket there. Still not happy to go by the look of it, but he's got to. India 150 for 3.
Well, that's an interesting comparison, isn't it? It's neck and neck. 12 overs to go. McLean Park love it. He got through.
Well, this is the big wicket. Azharuddin is a class act, and he's just played all round this one from Harris. Just angled in, nice and slow. Nothing too venomous in it, and Azharuddin just a little inside edge and has dragged it on. And everybody, I mean everybody, in the New Zealand camp is delighted. Azharuddin gone for 9, 152 for 4 now.
Tendulkar just using the pace of the ball, and you can see that there's quite a bit of pace in this pitch because it ran almost all the way. Fleming does pretty well, although we should have a look perhaps and just see whether his foot's over the line when he drags it back. But Tendulkar just used that pace very well indeed.
As I say, Peter, using the pace of that delivery, just gliding it down there in that slip region.
It's in the air, but it's wide. Good running. And it stays that way. That's good bowling. It's 169 for 4.
Yeah, another excellent over from Dion Nash. New Zealand's situation improving with every over. India needing 9 and over, so it's starting to build. Although there's only 7 overs left, or 8 overs. Still 9 and over, which is quite a lot. And Tendulkar and Manjrekha really have to start thinking about lashing out shortly, trying to score some boundaries.
He hit that one pretty well, and he found the gap too, and it's going to go all the way. It'll beat Young and beat Thompson.
We always know that Larson's around about the mark, and Tendulkar lofting that one through the offside, through the extra cover region, just extending the arm, just watch it extend through it there. Slightly sliced a little bit through the offside, but enough bat on it. Ran away. Much needed boundary for India.
And that's up in the air. Someone's going to have it. Rutherford's waiting. And the catch is made. A decisive blow for New Zealand, struck by Dion Nash. Tendulkar's gone, and that's disappointment for India.
Excellent bit of bowling from Dion Nash. Looked as though he held that one back a little bit. And Tendulkar trying to catch up, trying to smash it over mid-on. Just skies it, and Captain Ken Rutherford eyes on that ball, and he holds it superbly.
That shows what Ken Rutherford felt. 176 for 5 as Tendulkar leaves. Draker hit that pretty hard and straight past Gavin Larson. It ends the over. It's 186 for 5. There's 5 left.
Big hit and a very good hit. Straight up to the fence for 4.
Yes, he's a very powerful shot player through the offside as well, but showing here that if it's close into his pads, he can pick it up over mid-wicket. Just the 1 bounce or 2 bounces there for 4. So mid-arm going back now, but the offside is left open. Over long off. We've got a man back just out of shot there. But no one at long off or deep extra cover.
It's a full toss this time, and he swings it away, and that's another 4.
Keppel is asking that it should be a no ball as well because of the height of it. And Dion Nash trying to get in the block hole, but it is high. See how Keppel gave himself room outside leg stump to try and hit it through the offside, because he knows that that's where the real gap is. But it followed him, but he managed to still punch it away through mid-wicket for 4. So there's a long on.
So Chris Pringle back for New Zealand. Now the batsman should get 2 for this one. And in fact quite easily achieved. So Pringle and Morrison can bowl out now for New Zealand if required by Ken Rutherford. And as we talk at this moment, India need 11.21 runs per over. Hammers this one away down to long on. Beautifully struck, but some good fielding. And 2 runs.
Well, that only went about 5 metres wide of long on, and he struggled to get across to it. It was hit so sweetly. But Keppel trying to get it towards mid-off, I'm sure. And the bottom hand just coming in a little bit, but hitting it very cleanly. And that's a good save down there.
Hammers it away again. And a big dive by the New Zealand fieldsman. They'll try a second on Thompson's throw. And that's well run. So 7 off the over. It's 203 for 5.
I can't help but think with India having 5 wickets in hand that they've miscalculated a little bit with the run chase. And bringing in Kapil Dev late as well.
He's got to change of bat, Kapil Dev, to see if it makes any difference. Oh no, he's bowling.
Well, it's top bowling. Kapil's given himself room again to hit it through the offside. The length is very full. He gets an inside nick onto his stumps. Although it was offside, the length was perfect. It was right up there. And Kapil Dev hitting across it, dragged it onto the stumps, and the pressure that's been put on him to score so quickly at 12 runs per over has meant his dismissal. India 206 for 6.
And Cole is the new man. He's bowled. 2 in a row for Danny Morrison.
Well, if Waka Yunus can do it, I suppose Danny Morrison feels he can, and this one in particular is right on target and didn't need to be helped on. And Ancola over goes the castle, but what's the length and the line of this one? Dipping in, and that missed off and missed leg stump and knocked over middle. So that's India now, 206 for 7.
Classic delivery from Danny Morrison. Ancola out first ball. It's 206 for 7, 2 overs left.
Off a short run now.
He's got this one in the air. He's hit it pretty straight, and that's a good blow. That's down to the fence for 4 runs. Good shot by Srinath.
Yes, well, off a short run, Pringle here. Put it more in the slot. And Srinath launching himself at it, hitting it straight enough, although there's a long on back there, not able to get across to save it.
It's in the air, chance of a catch, and taken.
Well, that was very nicely judged there by Hartland. He made it look easy, and it wasn't a difficult one, but stayed on his feet nicely to catch it. We watch the replay. Straight in the slot perhaps, but he tried to hit it over mid-wicket and scooping it up and comfortably taken there by Hartland. So the 8th wicket down now for India at 211, remember, requiring 241 for victory.
Blair Hartland had a long wait for this, but he never looked like missing it. Comfortably taken. And another wicket for New Zealand. So now Diane Mongia comes out.
It's a slip-in now. So Rutherford's being a little cheeky here. Look at this, a slip-in, and there is a hat-trick, I suppose, for Morrison.
Hat-trick ball for Danny Morrison. Bowls in! Hat-trick!
And they're all bowled. First Kapil Dev, then Ancola, and now Mongia goes. And right up, and this time it looks as though it hits middle or leg stump. And quite a sensational end to proceedings here. And although it's great to see Morrison doing the damage, in particular taking a hat-trick, the game, of course, was won earlier.
Oh, nearly got him. They get a single. New Zealand on a roll, having beaten Pakistan in the last of the one-day internationals. And they go to win this game here at McLean Park in Napier. Last ball of the game with Danny Morrison the bowler. And Mandrake pushes it away, but an excellent win for New Zealand.
A thrilling finish to a top one-day match. India in their chase for the 241 runs got off to a flyer with Sidhu and Jadeja and also Cambley, but once they were gone, the innings went astray a little and they fell short by 28 runs. Simply because the New Zealand bowlers in general were all on target. Each got a piece of the action. Danny Morrison with a vicious finish, the first hat-trick by a New Zealander in a one-day international. Shane Thompson's all-round effort earned him. Northern District spinner Matthew Hart came in at the expense of Dion.